Well, good morning, guys. Once again, it is I, the chairman, bringing you another review of physical media. And this time I'm just going to have a short video going over some of the stuff that I've received recently. And to start off with, it's another month. So another month means another subscriber package from Vinegar Syndrome. And what we have this time is their 4K release. And it is a double bill of Schizoid and X-Ray. And so what Schizoid and X-Ray are is two films from Canon Films, and now we remember Canon Films from primarily producing a lot of action adventure films in the 80s, but they did get into the slasher craze apparently, and they produced a handful of them, and so Vinegar Syndrome have been good enough to get two of them. And so you have Schizoid, and Schizoid is about a guy who is a renowned psychiatrist, unable to reconcile his relationship with his teenage daughter, Allison. And so Julie is one of Peter's patients, is a successful advice columnist, midst of a messy divorce, started receiving threatening letters. When a black-clad, scissors-wielding killer, geez, where have we heard that before, starts murdering people in Julie's life, she begins to suspect that her unknown writer and this mystery assailant are one and the same. So it's kind of got a lot of Giallo influence, obviously, with a black-clad killer. So this is directed by David Paulson. It's a kind of a mystery. It's got, of course, the madman himself, Klaus Kinski. So anytime Klaus Kinski is in a film, he classes up the joint in his own inimitable way. And so it also stars Donna Wilkes from Angel, and also from Jaws 2. And Mariana Hill, I haven't heard of her. Early appearance by Christopher Lloyd, of all people. So that's Schizoid. Now, X-Ray, story about Susan, little girl, rejected, the Valentine of a love-struck classmate. Decades later, she's come to the hospital for routine medical examination, but when her X-rays seem to show something unusual, Susan finds herself trapped in a bizarre medical nightmare. Interesting. So this is directed by Boaz Davidson. His only directorial effort in the horror genre, and also cinematography directed by Nicholas Josef von Sternberg. And so yeah, both of these are part of a 3-disc set. So you have one disc containing Schizoid, the other disc with X-Ray, and then you got a Blu-ray disc containing a Blu-ray disc with special features. So that is Schizoid and X-Ray. Second from them, and when I read the description, I really had no interest in this one. Hard Rock Zombies, Slaughterhouse Rock, double bill. And it's explosion of heavy metal and new wave music in the mid-80s. Inevitable that horror filmmakers would seize the opportunity to combine the two. So yeah, I mean, I read the description, not that interesting. I think I'm definitely going to sell these. And the third, this is a little bit more interesting. Reform School Girls, directed by Tom DeSimone. So that is the cover on the inside. And it's talking about a bunch of girls caught in the Pridemore Juvenile Detention Facility. And it's a living hell filled with sexual depravity and violence. Jenny is a fresh inmate, becomes the de facto protector of Lisa. When they say protector in a girls or women's prison movie, you kind of know what that means. Lisa, an innocent young girl forced to be a plaything to anyone after her body. Then there's Charlie, the hardened teenage lesbian, because of course, why not? You have to have a hardened teenage lesbian in any girls' reform school or juvenile detention or prison film. And then there's who torments her fellow prisoners through brutal acts of sexual sadism, but no one instills more fear in even the toughest girls than the sadistic Edna, who with a blind eye turned by money-hungry warden Sutter delights in terrorizing her beautiful prisoners. However, the girls have had enough, and things are about to change at Pridemore. So it's from Tom DeSimone, who also directed The Concrete Jungle. And the cast is pretty interesting. It has Wendy O. Williams, Sybil Danning, the legend Sybil Danning herself. There's Pat Ast, from former Warhol superstar. I never really heard of her, so I guess she is. And so this is what is this? Oh, it's a 2K scan and restoration from the 35mm interpositive. So that's Reform School Girls. And so I picked up three other films. These are all rebuys because I'm planning to sell the Blu-rays that I already have of them. So always been meaning to get the X-Men Days of Future Past road cut, but it was always like $15–20, and then finally dropped to like 11 on Amazon. And so I said, you know, if they're never going to release the road cut in 4K, which would be the preferable format to find this film, then I might as well just get the Blu-ray, and I'm going to sell off my my existing copy of the Blu-ray of Days of Future Past. So yeah, definitely looking. I've not seen the road cut before, so looking forward to giving this a watch. I'll probably just skip over to the parts of the film that are the additional scenes that make up the road cut, as I'm already very familiar with the theatrical version. So that's the road cut. Got Guardians of the Galaxy on 4K. I do not have a number of the MCU films on 4K. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Ant-Man 1. The main reason why I'm buying this one is because I had previously purchased a 3D copy of Guardians of the Galaxy from Korea, and I've recently been selling off my old Blu-rays, and I noticed that the 3Ds sell better because they're 3D. There's always somebody out there with the 3D capability. I don't, so I don't care about having 3D, but I'm sure there are plenty of people who still have 3D players and 3D TVs and want to add 3D films to their collection. So I'm going to sell my 3D copy of this, and I also have a 3D of The Martian from Taiwan, and in the same way I'm going to sell that off because this is the extended version. So there are actually two 4K editions of The Martian. There was a theatrical edition that came out that was released after it ran its theatrical run, and then, as always, because Ridley Scott loves his director's cuts, extended cuts, I think pretty much every one of his films has had one, if not more, multiple versions that have since come out on physical media. And so The Martian, of course, being one of them. And so figured I'd add it to them to my collection because it is a really nice looking film, and I'm sure that, and I watched it in Blu-ray and it looked great, so I'm sure that 4K will look even better. So that is The Martian on 4K extended edition, and yeah, so that's the video, kind of a short one. So I will be back once I finish watching Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. I will do my Mad Max anthology review of all 4 films. So look forward to that. Until then, enjoy your physical media, and I will talk to you later. See ya.